Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a comprehensive book summary and review of Earl Nightingale's absolute classic, The Strangest Secret. Have you ever looked around and just wondered exactly how two people, identically skilled, can end up with totally different incomes, marriages, and just lives? Like, why does one person shoot straight to the very top of the ladder and make millions, while another guy with the exact same upbringing and education kind of stumbles from failure to failure, just trying to stay on track? Well, the answers are actually profoundly simple, and we're going to unpack them right now using the really powerful frameworks laid out in our review today.
Okay, let's dive right into our structured roadmap. We'll be moving step by step through. 1. The definition of success. 2. The strangest secret revealed. 3. The idea that your mind is a garden. 4. The law of service. And finally, 5. Your 30-day action plan.
Starting off with Section 1, the definition of success. We really have to begin our review by looking at the stark reality of human achievement and defining exactly what it means to actually win in life. Now consider this cold, hard truth. If you take 100 average people right at the start of their careers, do you know what actually happens to them? Out of those 100 people, only 5, literally just 5%, make the grade and actually achieve success. The other 95? They end up failing to reach their goals. I mean, that staggering 95% failure rate begs a massive question, doesn't it? What exactly are those 5% doing differently? Well, the absolutely crucial point here is Nightingale's exact criteria for that top 5%. Success is simply defined as the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So it's not just about money, you see. It's about knowing where you're going. If you're actively working towards a predetermined, worthwhile goal, you are a success. But if you aren't, well, you fall right into that 95%.
And this brilliantly illustrates a major pitfall in our society. Most of us think the opposite of courage is cowardice, right? But actually, Nightingale argues the opposite of courage is conformity. It's people just acting like everyone else without knowing why and without having any clue where they're actually going. To join that 5%, we've got to stop competing with everyone around us and literally begin to create instead.
Which brings us to Section 2, the strangest secret revealed. Let's move to the definitive cure for all this aimless conformity and reveal the core thesis of this entire philosophy. Here it is. The strangest secret is simply this: we become what we think about. I know, it sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But reason dictates that a person who is constantly thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is absolutely going to reach it, simply because that's what occupies their mind all day. On the flip side, someone with no goal, who doesn't know where they're going, they just live in confusion, anxiety, fear, and worry. They become what they think about too. And if they think about nothing, they literally become nothing. And look, this isn't just some modern self-help gimmick. Some of history's greatest minds have echoed this exact same secret. Take the great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He fully understood the massive power of our thoughts when he said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Ralph Waldo Emerson completely agreed, saying, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." In fact, this idea spans centuries. The great thinker Disraeli noted that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it. And William James, he even called it the greatest discovery of his generation. The fact that human beings can fundamentally alter their lives just by altering their attitudes of mind. It's a real game changer. And of course, William Shakespeare beautifully warned us of the mental traps we set for ourselves. He wrote that our doubts truly are traitors, and they make us fear the attempt. So mastering our mindset is this universally acknowledged truth across generations of great thinkers. The secret has kind of always been right out in the open. Okay, let's look at Section 3, your mind is a garden. Because now that we know what the secret is, we need to explore exactly how this mental machinery operates inside of you. Consider this absolutely staggering number: 10%. Generally speaking, we are operating on only about 10% of our true ability. The human mind is literally the last great unexplored continent on Earth. It contains riches way beyond our wildest dreams, and it can do any kind of job we assign to it. Yet, we usually just use it for little, mundane tasks instead of the big, important ones. Think about the timeless principle: as you sow, so shall you reap. This brilliantly illustrates that your mind is essentially a fertile field. It doesn't care what you plant, it's simply going to return what you plant.
If you plant a seed of success by picturing your goal in a relaxed, positive way, and you work steadily toward it, there is absolutely no way it cannot become a reality. It's a fundamental law. But remember, you are guided by your mind. You are in the driver's seat here, and you gotta keep both hands firmly on the wheel, because this exact same law is completely neutral. It can lead a person to a life of wealth, success, and happiness, or that very same law can drive them straight into the gutter. It depends entirely on how you control your thinking. The choice of what seed you plant is 100% yours. Moving right along to Section 4, the law of service. Let's tie this psychological framework directly to your earning potential in your actual career. So, the absolutely crucial point regarding wealth is what Nightingale calls the law of service. Basically, the only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products that are needed and useful. It's a direct exchange. If you want to earn more, you must be of more service. If you want less, just reduce your service. And this is exactly why selling is actually the world's highest paid profession. If we're good at it, provide immense value, and actually know where we're going, of course. Finally, we've reached Section 5, your 30-day action plan. Because let's be honest, knowing all this theory is totally useless without application, right? So let's translate all of this into a highly practical 30-day challenge that will completely change your trajectory. This 30-day action plan requires a total commitment from you. First, internalize that you become what you think about. Second, you have to cut away the feathers from your mind and realize that your limitations are completely self-imposed. Just let your imagination speculate freely on solutions. Use your courage to force yourself to think positively. Act promptly when your course is clear. And keep constantly aware that you are, right now, standing in the middle of your own acre of diamonds. The opportunities around you are just enormous beyond belief. To help execute this, Nightingale references an outstanding medical doctor who laid out 6 precise steps. Start by setting a definite goal. Stop running yourself down and stop thinking of reasons why you cannot succeed. Instead, replace them with reasons why you can. Trace your negative attitudes back to your childhood to see where they actually came from. Then write out a detailed description of the person you want to be. And step 6 is the real kicker here. Physically act the part of the successful person you've decided to become. During these 30 days, you've got to act as though it were impossible to fail. You have to give of yourself more than you ever have before. Remember, ideas are completely worthless unless we actually act on them. And when you face setbacks, because let's face it, you will, remember that persistence is simply another word for faith. If you didn't have faith in your goal, you would never persist in the first place. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. The seed has been planted. The roadmap from Earl Nightingale's classic is crystal clear. But the ultimate question I want to leave you with today is this. Are you ready to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and take control of your mind's phenomenal power today? Will you step out of the 95% and start your 30-day challenge right now? The choice, as always, is entirely up to you.